everyone, and welcome back to the course with really everything you need to profit from stocks. So in this particular video, we're going to go through the 5 steps every single strategy need to contain. So if you don't have these 5 things, you are in big trouble and probably will not make money. So I wonder what these 5 things are, and I hope you're curious as well. And by the way, if you like what you've seen so far, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of these videos. But let's go over to the flip chart here, because I'm going to show you these 5 parts every single strategy needs to contain. Now, it doesn't matter if you strategy, right? So it doesn't matter if you're doing cryptos, if you're doing stocks, if you're doing Forex, you need to have these 5 things. And yes, there might be more things, but these are the main ones. And later in the course, we're also going to teach you exactly how you do different strategies even. So if we start with number 1. So when you have a strategy, you need to know a couple of things, right? And let me just take you back to an analogy here, because if you're driving a car, would you ever go into a car A without knowing how to drive? No, we take lessons first, right? And this is why you're here, which is amazing. But when you're in the car, do you ever go in the car and drive without knowing your destination? Without knowing, if you crash, do you have a seat belt on? So you know the safety is working. Would you ever go there without even checking the brakes? That the brakes are working, you kind of need to know that as well. And then, of course, there's so many things you need to know, and we take those for granted in so many areas of life. But with trading and investing, most people don't even know these things. So, first and foremost, look, by the way, this is before you know what you're doing. This is before you going into any trade. When I look at an investment, when I look at a stock, then I need to know these things beforehand. So write that down right now. You need to know it before. So, number 1, you need to know where to enter. All right, you say, Dennis, that is easy, right? Well, what most people do is they use the strategy, today's strategy. Well, I enter today because, I'm at my computer. It looks good. What is it, today's strategy? The market doesn't know today. So that's why most people enter too high. And maybe this have happened to you. Have you ever felt, the market is watching me. Whenever I enter, it goes down. And that's the very, very reason for that is because you don't have a strategy. So in the stock market, in any market really, you need to know where to enter beforehand. In the next video, we're going to look at a real example on what you need to be looking at and how this applies in a strategy. And you need to know the following as well. So you need to know, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So make sure you write these down. These are very important. And I'm just giving you the framework here, and then we're going to dig deeper into it. So you need to know where to enter. You need to know where to exit, right, with profit. Right? You need to know where to exit with a profit as well. That's very, very important. So, for example, you say, then I don't need to know that. I know when to sell. When it goes up enough, I will sell. Okay? So tell the people that went, with the market all the way up and all the way down as well. Because the problem is when the price goes up and it goes to the level you say, now I'm going to sell, you're going to think, well, it's actually going to go up more. It looks like you're going up more, so you get a bit greedy. And there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit greedy. But exactly like with everything else, you need to know it beforehand. You need to have a strategy with rules to know what to do beforehand. It's like cooking, right? If you were to cook food, would you go, okay, I'm just going to start cooking, all right? I'm going to do number 1. But then you don't have any flour for your bread. How are you going to complete the recipe? Well, I have eggs. Perfect. You have eggs, but you don't have any flour. Well, it's not going to be a good cake, is it? So in order for you to really have a strategy that works, you need to create a recipe that really works beforehand. You need to have all the ingredients beforehand, and then you utilize it. So we need to know where to exit with profits as well. So when the price goes there, boom. What we do, there's 2 options here. Number 1, you can either take the profit at the level you set up, or number 2, you actually put a stop loss underneath. That is something we will discuss at a later point. But we can also put a stop loss when you reach a target, you put a stop loss underneath, and then if the price were to go down a bit, it would take you out with a profit. So you lock in that profit. But then as it carries on up, you move your stop loss just behind the price. So you can make 15, 20, 100% up. So let me ask you this, and comment below here. What would you say is the maximum a stock could go up in value? And you probably said, what did you say? Write it below. But you're probably right, infinite. It could go up as much as possible. I know Tesla is one example that's gone up hundreds of percent. So the third thing you need to know here is where to exit with, all right, a loss, okay? Also very crucial, you need to know where to exit with a loss. All right, does that make sense? So you need to know where to exit with a profit, but you also need to have the risk management in place. So you need to know where you're getting out, how much are you losing? So if it goes down, so you don't, a lot of people do this, right? They risk too much. So what happens is it goes up and they're making a lot of money. They turn 20,000 to 100,000, but then they risk too much and they don't know beforehand where they're going to sell with a loss. And what the problem is here is that if that's the case, well, then what if you lose those 100,000 right away? That could happen. So you need to know that beforehand. And number 4 here, which is really important as well, is the trade management. All right, trade management. Okay, really important. Trade management. So what is trade management? Trade management is when you're in the trade, when the stock is moving like this, it goes woohoo, up and down, up and down. And then you need to know what to do. When do you move your stop loss? How much do you move your stop loss? Once again, you need to do that beforehand. Because the killer of dreams when it comes to trading and investing is emotions. Write that down. You don't want to have any emotions when you are trading and investing. That is really, really, really important. Okay? And then there is one more thing you need to do. And this might be the most important one. So these are really in no particular order. But the most important one down here, which we will actually allocate an entire video to. So I'm not going to go into it too much now. I might even leave it as a cliffhanger. But what we need to do, I'm going to write that in green as well. But what we need to do here is to use the 2 golden rules. Okay? Write those down. I'm gonna tell you which ones those are, of course. But the 2 golden rules are, so 2 golden rules. So that's number 5. So the 2 golden rules, they are let your profits run and cut your losses short. I'm gonna say that again. Let your profits run and cut your losses short. And the reason you need to do this is, okay, so you need to lose a little and then to be able to win a lot. That is very, very important. We're going to have a whole video where I go through this with you. But for now, you just need to let your profits run and cut your losses short. So it is absolutely crucial that you do use the 2 golden rules. And what does this really mean? So cut your losses short. It means that for trading, we have differences when we do trading and when we do investing. So when you do trading, we always, and write this down, I think you did already in a previous video, but that we only risk 1% of our entire account. So if you have 100,000, we only risk 1,000 on each and every trade. And if you have 10,000, you only risk 100. That is 1%. So if I'm risking 100 on the trade, I know that beforehand, by the way, remember, that's part of it. You need to know it beforehand. So I only risk 1%. But I'm always looking to make 3 times as much. So I have a risk-reward ratio of 3 to 1. So if I risk 100, I'm looking to make 300. The best we've had is a 1 to 20, which means I'm risking 100, but I made 2,000, 20 times as much, which is incredible. So then it doesn't matter if you're losing 50% of all your trades, because you will win just for the simple reason that you have a strategy where you make more than you lose each time. But most people, they actually use the golden rules the other way around. They let their losses run because they don't have any clear rules. And when it goes down, they know I'm not going to sell with a loss. It's going to go back up soon again. and then it continues down instead, and they lose more and more and more. But then when it goes into profit, they just take the profit because, oh, I'm in profit, I don't want to lose the profit, and that is the mistake. So what you need to do, you need to have a trading plan where it says in there exactly when you are moving your stop loss, exactly where you're taking a profit. So you really need all these steps inside your trading plan, so you know it beforehand, so you don't let your emotions take over. But we can go deeper into these in the coming videos as well. But I hope you got a good overview what your strategy needs to have. And if you don't have a strategy that has these, you should not be investing. But we're going to be teaching you some strategies, so don't worry about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you now know that you need it's more actually, but 5 major points that your strategy needs to consist of. And that is important. And you cannot trade or invest if you do not have those in your strategy, okay? And you need to write them down as well. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you do like this, make sure you subscribe, so you get these updates to your email, as a notification that we have now posted a new one, so you never miss the next videos. And comment below, what strategies are you using today? So are you using a strategy, and does it consist of these 5 things or even more? I would love to hear, what strategy are you using today and how is it working for you? So comment below. We would love to support you on this journey, and make sure you like the video as well if you liked what you were seeing here. And don't forget to comment below if you would like to see something in particular that you want us to make a video on, and we can make that happen as well. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video.